Imagine knowing a song your grandmother taught you, singing it your whole life, but having no idea what you're singing or why. Then imagine that song being the key to finding your entire family on another continent. In 1932, a linguistics professor named Lorenzo Dow Turner was recording Gullah speakers in a remote Georgia fishing village. According to Howard University Linguistic Archives, he heard a woman named Amelia Dawley singing in a language he couldn't identify. And the song was almost certainly the longest African language text preserved by any Black American family. Almost 60 years that recording sat in archives, forgotten. But in 1989, a historian named Joseph Opala, studying Bunce Island, an 18th century British slave castle in Sierra Leone, recognized something remarkable. According to the Smithsonian, Bunce Island had shipped thousands of enslaved Africans specifically to coastal Georgia and South Carolina rice plantations. Then Opala decided to search for that recording. When he found it, he played it for people back in Sierra Leone, and something miraculous happened. According to the BBC and PBS documentary, The Language You Cry In, women in a tiny village in Sierra Leone started singing along. They'd never heard this song in 60 years. They'd never left their village. But those lyrics were burned into their memory, passed down through mothers to daughters for over 200 years. But here's the devastating part. Amelia Dawley's family didn't know what the song meant. When she taught it to her daughter Mary Moran, she had to tell her, "This is just an old song. It's in some African language we don't understand. Sing it to make the babies dance." What Mary didn't know was that she was singing a Mende funeral song. The words translate to, "Come together, the grave is not yet finished. Let his heart be perfectly at peace." Her grandmother, Catherine, who was enslaved on those same rice plantations in 1800, had held on to this. She sang a funeral dirge, disguised as a children's lullaby. So in 1990, when Joseph Opala's team finally located Mary Moran in Georgia, she was 69 years old. She'd sung that song her entire life. When they played her the recording her mother made 60 years earlier, her mother singing the same song, Mary broke down. She still knew every word. But the most incredible part came in 1997. According to the Harris Neck Land Trust and the Smithsonian, Mary Moran traveled to Sierra Leone to a village called Senahun Ngola. She walked into a community where a woman named Baindu Jabati lived. Baindu's grandmother had told her the same thing Mary's grandmother had told her. "Keep singing this song. One day your lost family will come home, and this song will reunite you. 200 years, 2 continents, 1 song." When Mary and Baindu saw each other, they didn't shake hands. They didn't hug. According to eyewitness accounts, they started singing together. They sang the same funeral dirge that had traveled across the Atlantic on a slave ship, been transformed into a playground rhyme, and somehow, impossibly, still held the power to connect a grandmother to her great-great-great-granddaughter. The village chief was a 90-year-old blind man named Nabija. When he heard the story, he said something that will stay with you. "You know who a person really is by the language they cry in." That song contained everything slavery tried to destroy. It carried names, history, ritual, identity. It was proof that they couldn't erase Africa from African Americans, no matter what they did. Because what Lorenzo Dow Turner documented in 1932, that Gullah contains over 3,000 African words from 31 distinct languages, wasn't just linguistics. It was resistance. It was memory. It was home held in a song. Today, Mary Moran is gone. She passed at 100, having lived long enough to know where she came from. She lived long enough to stand in her ancestral village. She lived long enough to sing with her cousin across the centuries. That's the power of memory. That's the power of refusing to forget. If this story of the Song of the Ancestors moved you, hit that like button. Share this to celebrate the resilience of Black History Month. And follow for more deep dives into the archives that prove we never truly lost our way.